NASA has recently declared that the time has come to focus more on Venus, following new discoveries regarding the possibility of life on the planet. Historically, NASA referred to Venus as a planet from hell, while Mars was seen as a more promising target for exploration. The harsh descriptions of distant planets were not unusual during the space race, where the Soviet Union, too, launched expensive missions to Venus, dismissing its potential for life. Despite this, the Soviet space program's Venera missions continued through the dissolution of the Soviet Union. Astrophysicist deGrasse Tyson has helped us understand why the Soviets were so captivated by Venus, as declassified images of the planet revealed fascinating details about its surface. The collapse of the Soviet Union concealed many secrets, including those related to space exploration. Prior to the United States leading planetary exploration, the Soviets were already conducting intense investigations of Venus. The Soviet Union's commitment to Venus was expressed in their Venera missions from 1961 to 1983, coinciding with the US's focus on lunar exploration. The Soviets believed Venus had potential, prompting them to focus resources on it, while the United States concentrated on missions to Mars. Despite Mars's farther distance, which made it a more expensive target, Venus seemed an easier target for their space program. The Soviet Union named their mission Venera, after the Russian word for Venus. They launched 28 rockets targeting the planet, with 13 reaching Venus's atmosphere, and 8 landing successfully. These missions were crucial in the early space race, showing the Soviet Union's determination to push boundaries in planetary exploration. While the US was focused on infrastructure and satellite technology, the Soviets dedicated themselves to Venus, trying to understand its atmosphere and potential for life. The Soviet Union's Venus missions are often overshadowed in history by the US's moon landings, but they were the first to successfully send probes into Venus's atmosphere. In 1992, the Soviet Space Agency was dissolved, later becoming Roscosmos. Due to this transition, many records from the Soviet space program were lost or destroyed, and the motivations behind their intense interest in Venus remain speculative. Soviet missions to Venus were not without technical difficulties. Many of their spacecraft faced failures due to their inability to withstand the extreme conditions on the planet. However, Venus was relatively close to Earth, at just 40 million km away, making it a more feasible target compared to Mars's 250 million km. Given the high costs of Mars exploration, Venus offered a more economically viable option for the Soviets. Although Venus was often dismissed as a hellish planet, the Soviets saw it as a critical objective in the space race. Their missions were an attempt to gain an edge over the United States and further space exploration. While NASA's Venus missions failed due to technical setbacks, the Soviets capitalized on the opportunity to investigate Venus. Their ambition was also motivated by the relatively short distance to Venus, allowing them to collect valuable scientific data. The Soviet Union's focus on Venus eventually paid off. Venera 3 became the first artificial spacecraft to land on another planet. Later missions, like Venera 4 and Venera 5, collected important data about Venus's atmosphere. In 1970, Venera 7 made history as the first spacecraft to transmit data from Venus's surface, revealing crucial information about its extreme temperature and pressure. The Venera 13 mission in 1982 offered even more detailed findings, including color photographs of Venus's surface, marking significant progress in planetary exploration. The Soviet Union's success with Venus helped pave the way for future missions, including those led by Roscosmos and NASA today. The Soviet Union's Venus program continued after the country dissolved, with the Venera legacy influencing future space exploration. Roscosmos and NASA are preparing for a joint Venus mission in the 2020s or 2030s to study Venus's atmosphere and geology, continuing the work started by the Soviet missions. The Venera missions were groundbreaking for their time, pushing the boundaries of space technology. The advancements made in spacecraft design, such as creating materials that could withstand Venus's extreme conditions, are still relevant today. These innovations enabled future missions to Venus and other planets. In conclusion, the Soviet Union's exploration of Venus was a pivotal chapter in the history of space exploration. While it was overshadowed by American achievements in the space race, the Soviet Venus missions demonstrated resilience and determination in advancing space science. Their achievements continue to shape the future of space exploration as new missions to Venus and beyond are launched.